Hello and welcome to the War Room Podcast. I'm here with Maddie
Hi.
and Dwarf.
Yo.
I'm also here with Dragon
Hiya.
and his brother Whiskey.
Hello.
And I am Sid. Today we're going to be talking about supernatural stuff. Now, that's
Yay!
Enjoy the
That's the
And
family, come on.
Wait. Let's
Don't
clarify.
get too excited,
Not
guys.
the TV series. Not the TV series. So
No, like the real stuff. real enough.
no matter how amazing they made those monsters look, I'm sorry, had to.
Well, I mean, I might mention it, but yeah.
I don't watch.
Anyways.
I don't watch it anyway, so I
I
don't
should
know what.
probably
Okay,
get
off
rid of
the
that Wikipedia
subject.
page then.
I was forced to watch.
Off the subject, we haven't even started. Awesome.
Yeah, here we go. Wikipedia, most trusted website ever.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'll start. So one of the things that I really want to talk about with you guys is skinwalkers, because I just find just the way the stories are from people that have encountered them are just so creepy.
Okay, right before you start, explain what the hell
What?
a skinwalker is.
I'm about to get to that.
Yeah, encountered?
A skinwalker is well, basically they're a witch that has this special ability to transform into any animal they want to. However, the origins are the most interesting thing because there are multiple different legends on them. So they stem from Native America, from the Navajo tribe. And actually, apparently, before European settlers came, skinwalkers were not evil. They were warriors that were chosen for a special task when it came to raiding other tribes. They would disguise themselves as coyotes, learn about their enemies, then report back. But when the Europeans came and basically weakened the grip of the Native American culture, that's when the skinwalkers turned on their own tribe. At least that's what one thing says. Another thing is that some legends say that these people weren't warriors; they were just naturally gifted with this ability. However, they had to wear the animal's pelt back then in order to transform into it. However, in modern times, they don't because it would give them away, and it's illegal in the Navajo area to be a skinwalker. Like, you can literally get arrested if you
It's
are.
I feel
accused
like that would be illegal in most countries.
I feel like that saying that it's illegal to be like a skinwalker in certain cultures is like saying it's illegal to be a banshee in other cultures. Like,
Well, I mean,
I don't think
you
you
know
can
how
have
in
a choice.
geometry. Okay, I'm gonna relate to math. I'm sorry, but you know how in geometry they're like every square is a rectangle, but not every rectangle is a square. Shut up, Sid.
Mental
Anyways,
abuse to humans.
it's the saying. They have the same saying, only not every witch is a skinwalker, but every skinwalker is a witch. So, what's interesting about witches though
Hashtag
is
not all witches.
that
That makes sense.
no, shut up. Anyways, the interesting about witches in the Navajo culture is like you know how most cultures witches are these old hag ladies, in the
Ladies gone hot.
Navajo community, the witch community is mainly dominated by males because it was thought only a woman that had not given birth to a child could be a witch.
Makes sense.
Yes, there's another legend that instead of them having that natural ability, they skinwalkers are either a witch with the ability to spirit walk, or it's they've reached this level of like priesthood, like the highest level of priesthood, which you would think is a good thing, but it's not. And in order to achieve the ability, they had to lose all humanity. And here's how. There are 3 ways, and they're pretty fucked up. The first one, kill a close family relative. So, like, the closest person in your family to you, you gotta murder them.
Seems like a waste.
Incest or necrophilia.
Well,
Yeah, we
That
both
is
know what
how-
those are. Let's not.
Bring me the body.
Oh no, I need
Description
what
is
does
not
Oxford
needed on there.
Yeah. So
What is the
basically, and
Oxford
some of the
Dictionary?
abilities that they are known to have, like, and obviously anybody that is well versed in this culture, this is just me doing research and I didn't have a lot of time, so I didn't get everything. But the abilities is they can mimic the voices of your loved ones in order to trick you. And some
Hmm.
say there are two different things. Either one, if you stare at them, I think it's while they're in animal form, like if you make eye contact, they can either A, take control of you, or B, like you can't move at all, which makes you an easy target. And
I'm just
It's-
saying, but I feel like that's a little unfair. Because what if you're just walking along in the forest and you're like, "Oh, what a cute bunny," and it's like, "I will have your soul."
that makes them kind of
They're-
adorable yet
It's just
creepy.
unfortunate.
It's like that bunny from Holy Grail.
Oh my god. Anyways, but another interesting thing, in the Navajo tribe, it's considered a taboo to speak, write, or think anything about the skinwalkers. However, younger members of the tribe are kind of strayed from tradition and they actually tell stories about their encounters. And one was basically this guy, he was out camping. They were really young at this time. They were camping in the backyard of their house with his cousin, and the backyard is open to like the forested area. So there's like two tents. He's staying with his older cousin, and he keeps hearing this rustling outside. And at first, it sounds like a human, but then it turns into an animal, and it's just circling the campsite. And he keeps getting this like feeling like almost as if there's a lure trying to force him to look, and his cousin ends up waking up as he's about to unzip the tent, pushes him down and says, "Don't do it. That's a skinwalker. It'll murder you. Like, you don't do it. Stay quiet. Be still." And this thing circled the tent until dawn. Like, it kept trying to get the cousin to open the tent for it. It even mimicked the voice of their little sister in trouble to try to get them to get out. And like the way they tell the story is way creepier, but I'm just summarizing. And imagine that though. Like you have a younger sibling or even like your older sibling or your parents and they're
Yeah,
crying
no,
out
I'm good.
for help.
I'm good.
Yeah,
No.
they're crying out
No.
for help and you
I'm
can't do
good.
anything about it. That's a horrible feeling. So just in their abilities they're horrifying, and then there's also reports that when they're in an animal form they looked extremely diseased. Like they have crooked um backs, they walk strangely, and even like that one story I wanted to read but apparently got deleted. The skinwalker took the form of a deer and it looked extremely diseased. Like its skin looked like it was roadkill. It was rotting.
Oh, okay.
And-
So it's not just going to be a cute bunny hopping along the forest as I originally
Well,
thought.
there are other ones. There
Okay.
are other ones where
That's
these
unfortunate.
yeah, this couple encountered 3 skinwalkers that were apparently in the form of panthers. However, there was no outline as the headlights shone on them, and they just stood there staring at this couple, and this couple could not forget what they saw that night, and it gives them nightmares to this day. So
Yeah, well, it would give me nightmares too. So
like just a solid outline of an animal, like, and that's what makes them interesting. And then straying from the skinwalkers, you get to wendigos, which I'm obviously really into Native Americans legends, but wendigos are so big that there's even a syndrome in psychology based off of the legends of the wendigos. It has to deal with when someone's so desperate to survive they resort to cannibalism, and that is also what the legend states. If
Yeah.
you eat human flesh you turn into this monster and can never go back. And basically, if you become a wendigo, it's either because of greed or cannibalism, and it's a giant taboo. And there were these dances that tribes performed where they would dance around a drum that drummed in the middle of a blood moon to ward off wendigos. So it was kind of interesting to learn about that culture. But I've talked a lot, and I kind of want to get to another subject. So who's next?
With those
Who's your
creepy
first
thoughts.
show?
What those creepy thoughts? Who's next?
Who's up for show and tell? Cryptid
Lovely
edition.
transitioning time. La di da di da.
Dwarf. Dwarf,
Oh
you're
shit.
doing Dwarf.
Ah, zombies.
Hey, so the little
Eh.
dwarfy thing is doing zombies. Yay! So I'm kind of just basically gonna go over the basics of zombies. So think of this as Zombie 101. Not all of it's gonna be 5,000% accurate, even though that's not a true percentage. So it's not gonna be completely accurate, but then again, there's a lot of like different stuff about zombies. So bear with me.
Well, there's also
Mm.
different zombies, Bianca. There's the
I
plague
know.
one.
I'm going to get into that.
Maddie, calm down. Let Dwarf go. Let's just have Dwarf do it. Just have her speak.
So
Go on, Dwarf, speak.
we
Speak,
all know
Dwarf,
zombies
Dwarf, we need you to
are.
speak. You want to say something?
Not this shit again.
Alright.
So we all know that zombies are basically people who have either died, and they've basically come back. It's in quotes. As either as form of disease, or they have been alive and they've been diseased somehow. So there's different ways of doing it. So it could be like a plague type thing where it's like a rat bit me. Oh no, I have the plague. Oh, now I'm gonna bite someone else. Now they have the plague. Ha ha ha.
You make it sound so adorable.
I just like the idea of like a little rat just actually doing that. Just like,
Just a
doggy,
tiny
doggy,
little
dog. Ooh, an ankle.
pretty much.
Um,
I mean, in reality, it probably is a lot grosser, but I don't feel like describing that. So, no.
Pus. Lots of pus.
Yeah.
oh, excellent.
Because I mean, they are technically like dead. It's just the brain that's active, so they don't really feel anything. Hence, the reason why to kill a zombie, generally you have to shoot it in the head, is to kill the brain. Granted, not all lore is like that. Some just say you can like tie them up and trap them, and you don't have to like actually kill them. But I mean, let's be real, just fucking kill them.
But here's the
Double tap.
question, Dwarf. If it's your family member, would you actually be able to do it?
Yeah,
You are
You
a
know why?
psychopath.
because these suckers
She's
are
not.
probably wanting to die. They don't want to be alive. They don't want to try and like bite my face off. Like, no, they'd be like, kill me, please.
Yeah,
Okay,
it would be like
Psychological
granted,
question.
That
you'd
is
be a
my
psych-
family.
You'd be a psycho
so-
if you let them live.
Okay, granted, I give you that. But
Keep them as a pet.
yes,
That's fair.
psychological.
God, no, if I turn into a zombie, you're caving my head in. I don't even care.
No,
Oh, gladly.
psychologically, what if a cure came out a year later because somehow some
Well, then
government
I'd feel like a lovely piece of crap. Moving on.
regret?
We should do like a
the
whole
regrets.
episode eventually about like what we would do in a zombie apocalypse, just like as a little.
I got
one-off.
this.
A lot.
Shit pants.
Don't worry.
We should also do an
Um,
episode. What we in the slasher film? Like, what would happen?
Yeah, we should do that for Halloween. since our-
Anyway,
I would
back-
die.
Back to
Dibs on
zombies.
being
That's number one. So, but okay, and then there's different like, so there's either like the plague zombies, or there's like kind of like the worm ones, where it's like maggots or whatever, or controlling what's happening, versus
like
like
the
it being like a disease.
Dwarf, do you know about the actual insect that does that to other insects?
Yeah, we're not gonna go into that because gross.
Oh, come
We're
on.
talking
Please
about
don't,
zombies.
It's literally a zombie insect. Like it's like some wasp-looking thing, and it'll stab a stinger into an ant, inject its eggs there, and then the ant will cannibalize its.
The other ants.
Yeah, they do
Feed
that
the
with
eggs.
like tarantulas too. Actually, certain wasps will impregnate tarantulas, and like they'll have like their young.
It's like, ha, I control you now.
You're pregnant.
Ugh.
Surprise! You're pregnant, bitch.
It's a kick to the stomach.
Surprise!
Pregnant.
Yes.
Way tarantula abortion clinic. Too far.
Jesus Christ.
So we've got 2 fingers and abortion. We're doing well.
Ugh. Well, they don't do that for
Anyway,
fun.
back to Bianca.
So, and then there's, of course, there's the different classes of zombies, which I'm not sure is a really big thing in zombie lore. But generally, there's the crawlers, there's the runners, there's the tanks, there's, well, essentially a banshee type thing.
I would
It's a-
definitely.
They scream and they summon other zombies essentially to come to their aid.
Ooh,
It's-
the
it's weird.
screamer.
Yeah, I hate those. They're annoying. And then of course,
Annoying,
if you
to say
set
the
one
least.
on fire and they don't die fast enough, you got a flaming zombie. Those are always fun. And then there's ones like in Fallout that are ghouls, I guess, similar to that. I know it's not the same, but they're similar, so they could be irradiated. So it's like, haha, now you have
like
radiation
mutate.
poisoning. Have fun. Lol.
There are so many negative things
Whoa.
about these beings.
You're very happy about
Oh
all
no,
of it.
yeah.
I love how you're trying to put an adorable spin on this.
I'm
Like
trying to
it's
stay
just
positive.
so negative, and then she's twisting it to be somehow positive in her voice.
Well, I mean, I could always be sad and depressing, but let's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, please don't. I already have enough problems with depression.
Woo!
Oh,
Fun times.
Let's move off those topics. Runs up.
Yay!
What else
Group
is there?
canceling.
Lol. But yeah, but general basic zombies, they kind of just meander around, depending on where you get it from. They might say brains. But most of the time they kind of just make grunty sounds, and they'll there's different ways of they get attention. So like a noise. So like generally, a lot of lore says that, say, if someone fires a gun or something, that that'll generally attract the attention of zombies and things like that. Or sometimes light and heat will do it. Apparently, other lore that I've seen says that they go based by smell. So it could be like a hunter thing where you could survive literally just by covering yourself up in mud. And then there's like
Predator
others
zombie.
that's like, oh, I'm gonna have a bonfire, and then suddenly zombies.
They all got the. They all
Then
got the
suddenly,
invite.
zombies.
Let's go. Boom.
No,
but
okay.
most
hold on.
commonly I've seen that it's like sound that does it. So if someone suddenly goes, ah! And then suddenly, oh, zombies. Don't
Don't go
scream.
scream.
If surrounded by zombies, just pretend like you're dead, and it'll
So-
probably be
Quickly
fine.
cave their heads in.
So stay away from you, dwarf, is what you're saying.
Only if there's a spider around. Yes.
Spider zombies. That's
can I-
it.
can I-
Spider zombies.
No, we're not going
No.
into that. No, 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 no,
No.
not
No.
animal zombies. Blech.
No, okay. Can
Disgusting.
I just say one thing?
Yes.
What is scarier, a dumb zombie or a smart zombie that can
Smart
figure
zombie.
out your plans?
Definitely smart
Smart
zombie.
zombie.
What
the
kind of
fuck?
question is that?
Come on.
Well,
I've
'cause
heard
then it means you
someone
can't
say something
actually
like,
But if smart
So they
zombies are
can-
quote unquote smart, then they'll know. Don't hunt in packs. Try and pick them off and try and circle around them. Dumb
just wait
zombies,
for the
they'll just
day.
hoard you and hoard you and hoard you and Yeah,
yes,
dumb
but
zombies.
they can kill you faster than a smart zombie because
Smart-
they just tear your limbs.
Smart zombie's gonna want to hunt you out and is
Smart
gonna like
zombies can
snipe your
eventually
butt.
like learn to use guns. Certain zombies in film actually learn to use guns. Ooh, that's terrifying.
That
Yeah.
might be changing my stance now. No, dumb zombies are worse because it's
So
just
takes the
basically,
horn.
if you're out in the
Crap out of
world
them.
and not in our bunker, you're screwed.
Wait,
I'm
does
gonna be
this
the one
mean
that hides and eats all
potentially
the food.
breeding those smart zombies?
And
there are
in theory, I guess you could, if they got smart enough to where they could form essentially a civilization kind of thing, where they had a form of government or something similar, or at least a form of
It wouldn't last
Then we
long.
get
So this-
racism and classism.
It wouldn't
Zombie.
last
No,
long
what-
because
What
zombies
was that
hate
movie?
zombies.
No, okay, guys, what was
not
that?
all zombies.
It
Okay.
had Will Smith in it, and it ended in a freaking
I
explosion.
am legend.
Will
Yes,
Smith.
that one.
What,
so
those
the
are
original-
vampires.
No.
They're a mix between.
Yeah, they're a mix. But okay, so those beings in the book, the hero doesn't kill them. He kills himself because he realizes this is the new civilization and I'm the monster to them.
What is
So
They should.
You do what you gotta do.
Well.
Off yourself.
We all know what my aspect on life is.
time to be a monster?
Let's
Uh,
go eat some cows.
you
There
did
is
miss-
actually some lore that actually says they won't necessarily always go for humans. They will actually sometimes just go for animals.
Yeah.
well, I mean, meat is meat.
I mean,
Another-
yeah.
Another type of zombie you did actually miss were the voodoo zombies. Like that's where actually
Oh,
all zombies
God,
come
yes.
from.
Yeah.
The original lore was like a voodoo priest brought zombies.
Yeah, they would like,
Basically,
hypnotize.
just
He would hypnotize
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
There's an island off the coast, well, off of It's a Spanish island where basically they're trying out zombieism for real. So, ha!
Oh, that's a horrifying thought.
Well,
Yeah, wasn't that an episode of Dark Tourist?
No.
Tourist.
He goes
Probably.
to an island that's, or like, it's a very coastal island. They actually live mostly over water, and they practice the dark arts and essentially end up attacking each other and attacking themselves in worship of one of the gods. I can't remember the name of the god.
That's not
like-
what I saw. No.
Well,
On the
you're
subject of
lucky.
zombies. On the subject of zombies, on Netflix, there's this movie I saw. Basically, the humans took over from the zombies. They didn't kill them all, though. No, they put them on a tourist attraction island where you can literally go out and hunt zombies, but there's safety precautions. Then the power goes out, and
There's-
every
that
human
would
on the
literally
island is
happen,
screwed.
honestly. That would
It's like
happen.
a zombie Jurassic Park.
That's what I was gonna say. Some
No,
basic.
I'm
Some
Yo,
basic.
make
They
your
are
zombie
running
food
out of
sellers.
Yeah,
ideas.
some basic park. There we go.
Zombastic Park.
Yes, they are running out of ideas. Only instead of like Jurassic Park is there so you can look at the dinos. No, this is you are literally headshotting zombies for fun.
How do you
Ah,
like-
it's
I mean,
that would
$10.
go
There's
to
your
this
funny
anyway,
zombies.
but
The
you
basic
kill zombies.
premise is the same. There's a tourist attraction with monsters that are usually feared.
Regardless,
Power
sign me
goes
up.
out.
As long as
everybody
I'm allowed
gets
to
fucked.
kill things legally.
Everyone's
What?
Do you
supposed
think
to-
electric zombies are a thing? Like, what if one just decided, I'm just gonna waddle up to this fence over here. Oh, look, I can shock things now.
the way I would design
I feel like it
an
would fry
electric
their
zombie-
brain before it did anything else.
Or
Actually,
Seven
Actually,
days
he's just
back.
always
there is-
wearing
there is-
woolen
hold on, there is
slippers
an
and
actual electric
shuffles
zombie.
around.
There is
Yeah.
an electric zombie called
Ha!
Frankenstein.
No, no,
Oh,
no,
well,
no,
that's
no.
not a zombie.
Yes, it is.
No,
It's
no,
a
no,
bunch of
no,
dead
no.
people
Yeah.
brought back to life. With
Yeah,
But
the
he was
electric-
created.
Yeah, that's
what is
different.
the premise of a zombie?
The premise of a
The
zombie is a
premise of
dead
a
thing that
zombie-
comes back to life.
I
Not
say it's a
necessarily.
dead thing that comes
Frankenstein's
back to life.
monster is
Technically
definitely
a zombie.
No,
Yes.
no. A zombie is a dead thing that comes back to life that craves human flesh or flesh in general. Frankenstein does not. crave
Frankenstein
flesh.
just liked to murder things. He didn't
He
like.
craved flesh. He wanted love of the intimate form.
Well,
That's
zombies can
That's
also
not
kill-
that
type
zombies
of
can actually
flesh.
kill
That
people.
is the biggest technicality.
That is
Yeah.
a technicality. Frankenstein is like not technically a zombie because
then-
it was new life
Well
formed
then,
that
Bob.
had a mind.
Well then, Bob from the second Romero zombie movie, like I think was Day of the Dead or Dawn of the, I don't know. Bob, that guy who was like a self-important zombie who was like learning certain human things and realized he didn't want to like eat flesh. Then he doesn't count as a zombie, even though he is a fucking zombie.
Well, that's different.
What do you mean?
Maybe he
How
just
is
decided to
that
become
different?
vegan.
Okay.
How is that different?
Frankenstein was created by a scientist, and electricity brought him back to life. And
Along
it
with
actually,
amniotic fluid.
yes, along with the
nutrients.
fluid that is
Thank you.
But
used
it's a
in the
corpse.
woman's womb.
It's a corpse.
No, but it's still bringing a new. Technically, it's rebirth.
Yeah,
What?
technically Frankenstein is rebirth, where
Zombies are
he's
where
actually
zombies
brought back
back.
to a living state. Zombieism is when they're undead.
Okay, fine. Yeesh.
But I wonder on the thing about electric zombies in the game 7 Days to Die. If you get far enough, there are electric zombies that will come after you.
I feel like that would be like a common Call of Duty Nazi zombie. Like,
Yay.
No, but in Call of Duty, zombies like there is electricity
Wait,
that blows
Does
up
that
heads.
mean that if you wanted to, you could tie one up and then you could use it and you could use it like as a charger port?
Oh my god, yes!
Stick like a battery in it, stick like a plug in it, so charge your phone.
I have a joke, but this is not the podcast for it.
What's the point in having a phone when no one else has a phone?
Good point. I don't know.
Uh,
I mean, like,
Let
him
free
watch
Wi-Fi.
Most zombie
survival
movies never work. Come
videos.
on.
Free
No,
Wi-Fi.
If
no, no.
anything, I'd hook up a DVD player and a TV.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Wouldn't you run out of electricity though?
Yeah, you just got another one.
Just
Go
no,
on,
just
find
make him a
another one.
lightning rod.
Yeah, they're a
Not in the
natural
field.
lightning rod.
That is.
And not
true.
only that, you could use them as an electric fence against the zombies.
This is
that hurt
getting
them.
very sadistic.
This is terrible. What have I done? What have I done?
I mean,
Okay.
technically you could do that with a regular dead body though, right?
Yeah, but they
No.
won't hold it charged.
They
No.
That's
don't
the
need to
problem.
keep
Cannot.
living to electrocute them.
Oh.
You cannot
But can
because
they
of the
hold the
electrical
charge?
impulses in your brain.
Oh. So I need a live person.
Wait,
I mean undead.
Essentially, because their brains are still alive, so technically their brains are still working with the
You
electrical
have to
impulses in
control
their
the
brain. So
voltage
zap.
going on as well, because
Yeah.
Yeah,
feel
just
like,
hook
yeah,
up
you
power
would.
batteries to it. Just hook up like a bunch of like cables to it. Be like, there you go.
That's
that's like-
getting into different realms.
okay,
of-
moving on. Yeah, who's next?
it'd be
Transitioning.
good if you had an
yay.
electric car.
That is true. Tesla's gonna love zombies that are electric.
We will
Oh,
do
God.
this. Okay. We will do this. We will do this in a different episode because this is an interesting topic. But
Yeah.
we need.
What
to
have I
find-
done?
Zombie torture.
Let's do this next episode, maybe.
No, zombie survival. That's what it is.
Next
Because
episode.
there's an actual. One more last thing. There's an actual scholarship here in Texas that if you can prove that you can survive a zombie apocalypse with two things at the beginning,
I would ace.
they will give you money
I would
Wait,
ace
to go
it.
to college.
Is flint and steel one object or two?
No.
Ooh.
A lighter
But-
is one.
I don't know, but all I know is you have to go to court to defend yourself there.
Really?
You
Wow.
have to go to court and make a case that you can survive a zombie apocalypse with these two things.
Dude, what
How
is the
you would
judge
survive
thinking?
and
The
why
judge
you
probably
would
thinking like, oh my god, I don't know what I signed up for.
Oh,
one
no,
of
one of
the
these
rednecks up
cases
there.
again.
It's amazing.
Broadsword and a Zippo.
Yeah, you know what? Yep.
I can find the oil in cars. They're gonna be abandoned.
It'll be fun. All right, so who's next?
Yeah, who's next before we get lost
Again.
Again.
again?
Sid, why don't you go?
Okay.
Yeah.
I had some choices. I was thinking like melon heads, but nah, I'm not really into that. I had also the idea of going for like a furry, i.e. the goat man of like, but there's like 50 different goat men. But then
Do the one that involves the most taboo topic to talk about on a podcast. How about that one?
well, I don't know. I'm going for shadow people actually.
Oh God, no.
That sounds interesting. What the hell is that?
Okay, so a shadow
Oh
person.
God, no.
Shut up, Maddie. I'm talking.
Oh.
So a shadow person is basically a giant mass of darkness in the form of a human. And what happens is that they usually come around. You can find them in your peripherals. Actually, it happened to me multiple times, especially when I was young.
Aim.
You would see it in like the background of your peripheral. Turn around, there'd be like a little darkness darting right out of your sight. And that's what's technically a shadow person to some people. However, they do sometimes also come in like the darkness to watch over you when you sleep, and you can't really see them because they're a shadow. And what's actually even crazier is that sometimes in sleep paralysis, they do tend to come around and like mess with you. Usually just
Don't you
staring
need
at you.
light to have a shadow, though?
No, they are just darkness. Like they're at like advanced darkness, like that SpongeBob.
There's stage 2.
So they can
dark.
either be benevolent or malevolent. So you're screwed either way because they like
And-
to trick around.
They either love you or they hate you.
And there's a certain there's another type of like shadow person actually. And
Oh,
this
God.
one's a little more rare to see because it's like a singular one. It's called the Hat Man.
Oh no.
Imagine
Does he wear a
this.
top hat?
No, he wears a wide brimmed hat actually.
I wish.
A
Oh.
wide brimmed hat and like a trench coat, and he's all black,
Oh,
no
that
features.
fucker.
Hold on, I
And-
need to Google up.
All he does, he's almost like a commander of shadow people. Actually, he's usually like surrounded by other shadow people. He's almost like a Dark Souls boss. But
Oh, it's that hat.
yeah,
Okay.
a wide brimmed hat, except
I
it's
had
not
to
like a
Google
man
it.
who's like completely like shadow black. Like
That
oh.
motherfucker.
Why do you sound like you've met him before, Maddie?
Because I swear to God, I've seen that.
Oh, well, then
It
you're
was.
You've also
I
seen,
Well, aren't you special?
yeah,
don't want to be special.
yeah. Okay, yeah, and I think I have like a few articles here and there, but like there's not much on shadow people. Well, there's much on shadow people, but not on the Hat Man. Hat Man is almost like an entity upon it. But shadow people can also like interact with certain like furniture here and there. They're almost like ghosts, but they're not really because they are. I don't know. It's like weird. They're like metaphysical, so they're like somewhat physical, but you can't really like get to them. It's almost like they're
They
on a
like
different
to
plane.
steal your homework and hide it from you. I know that.
Specifically your homework.
But
They'll steal anything, but
bastards.
always the most important piece of paper, I swear to God.
Yeah,
Because
they're
I always found my homework in a shadowed place when I couldn't find it in the first place. It was
Yeah.
weird.
If I wanted to, I could have done the Goat Man, but that was like full of like death and rape, and I'm not really too big fond of that.
It's kind of horrifying. I was
I
there
don't
when we
think
found it.
anyone is overly fond of that.
Getting
No.
fucked to death by a giant goat man. That ain't pretty.
Yes, that is basically what it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
He's also in Texas, so fuck me.
Now that's just an open invitation.
No.
You did
No. I mean, if he looks
bring
hot,
that one
then,
upon
like,
yourself.
No, Sid, no,
I
we do
think
not
that
want your
there's a
kid.
Quit
little bit
inviting bad
more
things
in-
to happen.
All right, fine. All right, so I've done my thing. So, who else?
With that
Who's next?
beautiful segue.
Who's
feel like
next?
we're-
Who's next? Moving on. Nobody talks about the Goat Man anymore because we don't want to get demonetized.
All right.
We're not gonna get money.
All right.
Dragon!
Yes, I'll talk about my subject, the Goat Man.
Ah!
No. I was like really pressed for last minute. Did it all yesterday. Slash.
Mine was last minute.
I was
Mine
like,
I found this while we were talking.
yeah,
That's
same.
lost.
I've literally just been writing notes. I was like, let's look at ghosts and poltergeists because a poltergeist is, yes, a form of ghost, however, is an extra self. So we have ghosts. There are 5 forms. There's the interactive personality, which is usually either a historical figure,
Abraham Lincoln!
like if it, yeah, like just see Abe Lincoln wandering around your campus, or even a family member. There's the ectoplasm or ectomist that can be seen, which is usually after they've been around.
Slimer?
Then there's number, I suppose. Then there's the poltergeist, which is commonly referred to actually as the noisy ghost. They're the only ones that can actually
Not
No,
meow like a
they-
cat.
They can all make noises, but this one's actually more materialized than the others. So they can pick up and throw objects. They can move objects
So
around.
Oh,
they
they're those ones. Okay.
Yeah.
actually have
Basically,
a
they're
bit
the
more
one.
of a physical presence.
Yeah, they're kind of the ones that are able to stack things where they should not be able to stack that way.
Yes, yes. Like
Very
the
desperate
chairs and
person
stuff.
That okay. Can we talk about how annoying that shit has to be to clean up? Like you just have vases stacked on top of each other. Fuck you.
Yeah, like do
Fulford.
they use glue to do it, or like is it just
And it's like you're just carefully trying
magical
to
sort
take
of like?
You're trying to take one vase off and the entire thing falls down.
Like
you
hundreds
just
of
walk
dollars
in
of
and
glass.
it's, like in the middle of putting a chair on another chair, like, oh, you're home early. Like,
Oh crap,
Sounds
I
like
thought
an
you were
old
getting home
married
at 5.
then there's actually orbs, which are the ones that are more commonly photographed and seen in videos. Is just a glowing ball of white light.
Which has got to suck
And-
if that's your afterlife. You're just a little ball that falls around.
Just a
Wait, that
ball
would be really
floating
entertaining
around,
because
like,
you could be like Navi and you could just scream at people.
No.
You're horrible. You're
I mean,
horrible.
you could
Damn.
you
Yes.
could scream at people anyway. Don't
They
have to be a
wouldn't-
ghost. Just walk past, walk down the street. Ah! Random people. Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Okay, yeah, that'd be hilarious. What would their reaction be? The fuck was that?
They probably jump in front of a car automatically, just like, oh, ah! You just like die.
Oh, bang! You're a ghost.
Ta-da!
Welcome.
Welcome. I'm
Welcome
sorry.
to the afterlife. It's really boring. We
Sucker, I got a friend now.
Suffer with
But who
me.
does have to live? It's really
Ah,
boring.
in-
That's why we mess with the normal living world.
Can we talk about orbs real fast? Like, what if
I
we
mean,
see them as orbs, but like they see themselves as themselves, and then they look at a photograph? The fuck is this? What is that?
They didn't
I
get my
ain't no
good
fucking
side.
there's this glowing ball in front of me in the mirror.
What is this?
It's like the opposite problem of a
Hey, guys.
vampire.
No,
This
no.
does
Can
not
you
look like
imagine? No,
me at
in the
all.
modern day, you know what it would be? Oh, there's a glowing ball. Hold on. No, you need to move over here. Let's get the lighting right. Okay, there we go. Get the selfie right, okay?
Oh god, no, not the teenage ones.
Humanity.
Hey, why can
So terrible.
orbs not grow hair?
No.
Because they're a sphere.
Because they're bald.
That was horrible.
I love
That's
it.
actually
You go.
and then there's another one called the funnel ghost, but there wasn't a whole lot about funnel ghosts, unfortunately. I still don't even quite understand what a funnel ghost is.
Is it a ghost that looks like a funnel or a ghost that funnels things?
That would be even more unfortunate than the orb.
All I
What
can
is
do
this?
is pour water
Floating
to a
funnel in
cup.
front of
Why,
us.
why do I feel like a funnel ghost is just another thing to make humans feel less scared of evil ghosts?
Just put
Fear
there just to
me,
make it
I am
look
a
funnier.
funnel.
Well, actually,
I will
there's
pour
another
your
one.
water deeply.
Ghosts only get annoyed with you if you, one, recognize that there is a ghost or poltergeist in your place and you ask how they died. That is the number one way to piss them off.
You yell
Or,
at them like ghost chasers?
yeah. Or
Generally, just don't be a overall
They-
douche, and you'll be fine.
I don't think that needs. I think that's pretty fairly common sense, actually. But
Hold up.
I'll be honest, just to kind of help alleviate the tension.
No,
Whenever you-
wait.
I'm
I
now
have an
thinking funnel
interruption.
ghost is like a funnel cake that is a ghost.
Oh my
Guys.
god, that would be amazing.
how delicious!
That
Hey.
sounds so delicious.
Guys,
Yes.
Sorry.
wow.
I
Okay,
have an
is it-
interruption. My mother has called me. I have to go for a few minutes. I'll be back.
Okay.
Update me when
okay.
I get back.
All right, go away.
Is this the bit where we do technical difficulties and we've all got guns pointing in various places?
Nah, this
Yes.
is where bloopers come in and we just start talking about her. We're like, hey guys, she's gone. Let's talk about us. So, Manny,
and meanwhile,
So should I continue going? Because now we're on to poltergeist, and poltergeists are fun.
well, we gotta wait for
Yes.
Maddie to come
might
back.
as well
So
let
Right.
Manny come.
Well, I'm concerned that we might have poltergeists. Well, do we have poltergeists?
I
Okay,
don't
this cat is near is great.
Alright, I'm back.
Oh, she's back.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah, I had to open the garage for my mother.
You ruined our thing. Damn it.
Okay.
Maddie, don't ever interrupt it like that again. You're so very rude.
I live with someone who can't operate their garage opener.
Yep,
You're
click it.
Well, that's
I think it's
unfortunate.
just being old.
That
Just-
bodes well for me.
Okay, back to the subject at hand. What were we talking about?
Poltergeist.
Okay, poltergeist, those motherfuckers.
Are they funnels for funneling liquid, or are they funnel cakes? That-
I think they look like funnel cakes. It's
That's-
probably just like a. That's probably what it is, actually. Probably like a big cloud, actually. That's probably what it is.
I feel like funnel ghosts.
Well, that
is
just makes
something.
them fun.
No, I
Like a
think
pinata.
seriously. But think
You mean
about what
funnel?
if,
These ghosts are fun. They're very
up.
fun.
listen. What if someone just made up that type of ghost just for this type of situation, and now we're just feeding into it?
Nobody has that. amount
That
of
would not
foresight,
surprise
Maddie.
me, to be honest.
I
Them
Yeah, same.
4chan would probably do that. I'll be honest with you.
Of course.
So when it comes to poltergeists, here's what I want to know: are they just tricksters, or are they actually out there to harm you? Because there have been records of poltergeists throwing like knives at people. So
I feel like it could be both.
Yeah, it'd depend on how you've acted towards the poltergeist prior to that event happening.
Wait, what if you make them a
So if
birthday
they just
cake? Will they be happy or sad?
They're probably pissed off. Probably pissed
They're
off because they
always
can't eat
angry.
their delicious birthday cake.
more likely
Oh.
to be sad because you don't actually know when their birthday is, so it's either going to be too early, which is
Wait, what
kind of
about
insulting,
Christmas?
or too
Because
late,
that's
which
a
is even more
standardized
insulting.
holiday.
Yeah, but what if they're Muslim
What?
ghosts?
Shit.
Ooh.
I didn't think that far.
Or Jewish.
Or Jewish. Yeah.
Okay, here's what you do. Here's what you
Been a
do.
dreidel for them.
Where's my wallet?
What's a standard
it's those
holiday?
ghosts.
No,
What's
no,
a standard
no, no.
holiday?
No,
Hold
no,
on.
no, Dwarf, here's what you do. Here's what you do. You make a cake that's right before all the holidays in December. Like every
Just make a cake every day.
No, I'm just gonna
That's
make a
his happy
cake, and it's
birthday.
gonna be no. I'm gonna make a cake on a random day, and it's gonna be called General Holiday Cake.
general.
You're just gonna have an excuse to make a holiday cake and not go to work.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, yes.
Sorry, can't
Okay.
come in. It's general holiday today. Insert general holiday here.
Sorry, General.
General, nondescript, non-biased holiday that everybody can enjoy.
Yes.
Okay.
Non-religious
So
based
basically-
holiday.
So basically, my advice when dealing with a poltergeist, if they start stacking something because they're bored, please don't do that. At least not with the breakables. You can do it with the books.
give them
not the
one
breakables.
of those old Tetris video games.
They probably just
Yeah, they would enjoy that.
Or Jenga. Give them Jenga.
Yeah, just
Okay,
yeah,
Poltergeist playing
I don't
Jenga.
know why you guys aren't going for the bigger stuff. I'm thinking fourth dimensionally, all right? Have them fold your clothes. Stack them into laundry.
Wait, that's not fun. That's boring.
Yeah, well,
Boy,
they are
if
in
we're
your
They
not
house.
probably
paying them, the
murder you.
discount is slavery.
Your
Yes.
house, your rules,
Yes.
big deal.
You know, it's just like, okay, look, if you fold my laundry for 2 hours, you can go play Jenga. But you have to fold my laundry first.
Yeah, give them chores.
Oh, and you must
Bro.
also vacuum the entirety of the stairs. And you must clean up your Jenga after you play
And
Jenga.
that's how you get a knife thrown at you, Maddie.
That was Bianca.
Yeah. I'm providing an excellent
No,
example.
she was
of
the
how
one
to-
that asked about the
Or
knife.
please.
So
Yeah, I know. Anyway,
So never do
7
what.
signs of poltergeist activity. One, this is a pretty common one, is disappearing object. Now, I had this one when I was younger. My Hot Wheels cars would always disappear.
Could that just be because you lose them?
'Cause it's just
Like, all
because
of
you
the
have
are you
time.
sure Mum just
Okay.
wasn't putting them back in the drawer?
Okay,
Oh,
wait,
no.
Dwarf?
I assure you they were legitimately gone.
Dwarf.
Yes.
How would that compare to somehow missing an article of clothing? But like, and
socks.
more specifically, an
Socks in the
article
dryer.
of underwear.
Yes, socks and
It's definitely the
all
socks.
poltergeists are dryers.
That explains
No,
so much.
I'm convinced that considering it's so widespread that all dryers must actually be some form of wormhole that is sending socks to like some sort of pocket dimension.
This pocket dimension is probably going to be like,
It
why do
would
we keep getting
stink.
socks? Like, give us something else.
It would
Yeah.
stink so
Why
bad.
socks?
It wouldn't,
It wouldn't stink because they're all clean socks.
Sure.
Just a
It's just
land
a
of
poltergeist
socks.
putting.
I don't know what kind of socks you're putting in your dryer, Sid, but mine are usually clean.
No. Imagine that. It's just a poltergeist
I
waiting.
thought you went
like, I'm
dryer
about to
then wash
do
it.
this.
This explains so much.
Is this why your laundry is never clean? This explains what.
No.
Why I don't have
Imagine the
socks.
poltergeist in the dryer. Which sock shall I steal today? To the pocket dimension with you.
I feel like stealing the polka dotted purple striped one.
Polka
Well,
dot
would have
pants.
polka dots and
That
purple
Polka
stripes.
dot
very
purple striped
ambitious.
one. That is very, very. I like that.
It's the lucky sock. They always steal the lucky socks.
Sign number 2 is levitating objects and thrown objects. That varies from literally anything that can be picked up and thrown. So
Like a
if
knife.
you
So, like a
fear
water
you have
bottle?
poltergeist, yeah, nail everything to the floor.
Nail everything to the
Just
floor.
everything.
Yeah, but then I can't drink out of the water
Every-
bottle.
And
can.
it's also good for earthquake prevention. So
Wait,
No.
I
Okay.
have an idea.
One stone.
I'll
I've
nail
had
the
an
water bottle to the ceiling, stick a thing like a gerbil for it, like one of those gerbil taps, and I'll just drink water
I-
from the ceiling and it'll be fine.
Dwarf, that's adorable. But I've actually had a legitimate experience with something like this. Like I was home alone, and all of a sudden, like this blanket was thrown out of nowhere at me, and I was like, "Thanks, okay, gotta go
Were
to
you
my room."
cold?
I feel like that's something that I would do
No,
Just
but
a ma-
blankets
One-
are always
Have a
thankful.
blanket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me and Dragon throw cats at each other sometimes.
You
but
throw
that's
cats
when
at
we
each
had an
other?
abundance. That's when we
I
had
feel
an
bad for the
abundance of
cat.
cats in our house.
Imagine the poltergeist that would be in your house. Cats for everyone.
I'm pretty sure that poltergeist
I'm
would actually.
pretty sure we
You
do
have a
have
cat.
a poltergeist in our
Oh,
house.
there's the yo-yo.
Um,
Hello.
Yeah. He's throwing this.
Quickly, go throw the cat at your brother.
Number 3 is scents and odors. So smells of either perfume that
Oh, I
the
hate those ones.
ghost wore,
I've
or
that.
cigar smoke is another common scent/odor that occurs if there's
I've
a
gotten that
poltergeist.
before.
Cologne.
Yeah, the like cheap Chanel
bitch.
cologne knockoff.
Yeah, that's how you know. you
Say
have to
Chanel,
like-
but there's 2 N's instead of 1. It's a me, poltergeist.
me, a poltergeist.
He's gonna hit all your. Oh damn it! If I had like an Italian ghost, he would hit all my floating
Hide your
blocks with all my
brickhouses.
money.
I'm gonna steal
Take
your
it to
money and I will
something
go
that
buy
fits
some.
the
Wait,
economy.
what if poltergeist could like cook you dinner or something? Like what if your poltergeist was like an old granny and it just made you food all the
Ah.
time?
I would love it.
That would be amazing.
It'd be really convenient.
Thanks, Granny.
Yeah, and it's
Would
like
it though?
floating stuff all over the kitchen. The,
Thanks,
like,
Granny,
their
guys.
floating-
Usually loved people do not end up as ghosts or poltergeists, so she
Aw.
was probably a very bitter old lady, which means
Maybe she
that-
just likes making only one.
Somebody
thing.
spiked her porridge.
Like if she only makes like one thing and you have to
Sorry.
eat that one thing every day, otherwise she'll get like really pissed at you.
No. She makes stuff, but she puts alcohol in it.
She's one of those-
Nah, make me some cupcakes, my dudes.
I,
Or
I
she
would enjoy that
Popeyes.
poltergeist very much. She just
either
makes
it's
martinis all day.
alcohol or arson.
Yes. No, I don't like martinis. It depends on the martini.
No. The
What?
old granny that is bitter that you are alive in her house and she is dead tries to kill you every day, and you're just like, no, I'll make my own food. Thanks.
Thanks, but I'd rather have peanut butter and jelly today.
That I just
Make
bought
peanut
from
butter
the
jelly
store.
sandwich.
No. That I just got
'Cause-
from the store because I don't trust you.
I don't trust
Just
this house.
buy new ingredients every day for the same thing.
You'd be spending a lot of money.
I'm haunted by a
Electrical
poltergeist.
interference is
I'm gonna
number
buy a
4
poltergeist.
as well. Would
Come
that be
on, come
human
on, buy your
trafficking if
poltergeist
they're
here.
dead?
Your friend here's this would be me and you,
Well, they're
Dwarf.
not
You'd be
human,
like,
so
you'd be like, Maddie, just come over. Just get. We'll go out.
Want to come over and see my new poltergeist?
No, it tries to poison me every time.
No, I'm sorry. That the poltergeist at your house doesn't like me very much. It tries to kill me for some reason.
I do nothing but walk through the door.
Electrical interference is another sign. Then what? Powers from nowhere. Oh, yes. So if you've got this electrical thing and it hasn't worked in so long, it will all of a sudden just power up and start working.
I had an MP3 player like that. There's a spider on the ceiling.
Oh no! Oh no!
Just put it there. Haunted.
We
It's so
have,
tiny.
you'll hear knocking,
Look down, dwarf.
footsteps,
Look
and
down,
all
dwarf.
the noises. And then lastly, physical attacks.
I
And
don't like
those are all the
spiders.
signs
Dwarf,
of a
just look down.
poltergeist.
Dwarf, ignore it. Just look down. Keep looking down.
Okay, is it bad that I know someone that has actually like okay, this is weird to me, but every time they would come to school, right, and there'd be like a handprint on their arm, and I've met their parents, they're like really sweet, but their room, my friend's room, creeped me out so much. But there'd always be this weird bruise that looked almost like a hand somewhere on them, and I was like, what happened? I don't know. I felt like I was grabbed in the middle of the night. I just ignored it and went to sleep. Why?
I'm just so tired that I just ignored it. I went back to bed.
I
Thing,
slapped
feel
it
like
away. I thought it was a fly.
If you guys like constantly had to deal with poltergeists, it would just get really annoying after a while.
I just feel like I'm
Honestly,
used to it.
Yeah.
It still
Open
freaked
up
me
a
out.
Probably start naming the
orphanage or
poltergeist.
poltergeist.
Some really weird names.
I feel
No,
like
they
a
just
spider
call it
moves every time I don't look at it.
It's like gets grabbed in the middle of. Hey Jeffrey. Yeah, can you let go of my arm so I can go back to sleep, please? Yeah, thank you.
Can you
Imagine
not
like
today,
someone
Jeffrey? I
walking
have a test
past
in the
the
morning.
door and hearing like, "Oh, hi Jeffrey, can you not grab me tonight, please?"
Imagine having a guest over that
Bust
night.
into the room. Oh my God, what's going on? Jeffrey was just grabbing me again, and there's no one else. That would you'd find yourself in an asylum pretty quickly.
Yeah, you
Spiders.
I have a handprint to
Spider is on the prowl. Go away
Get
from
the
my desk.
poison, dwarf.
I don't know where it is. I don't think we have any in our dorm. We haven't had a spider problem.
Get- Or get
Spider problem.
really enthusiastic about it. Get a bow and arrow. That's
I
a
don't
really
have
fun
one
way
of
to hunt a
those.
spider. That's
As
I have
one
an
of your
orange.
seatmates. By the way,
Totally
dwarf
orange
is in
spider.
college.
No, they're
Yeah,
hand-picked
just-
oranges. I'm not about to freaking. It's right in the middle of the room. Well, not really the middle. It's like. So here's my desk. Nobody in the freaking. Oh, whatever. Just imagine a square room, and then there's in the front of the room there's a door, and then on the right side of the room there's a desk, and it's in the front half of this room that the desk is in. There's a spider that's pretty much slightly to the left of the desk on the ceiling, and it's
For the record, there are 3 of us in this call right now that do not like spiders.
I don't like them, but I'm gonna
Let me
laugh
just-
at your pain like you did
hold on.
me.
let me just camera.
The one
I
that
wouldn't
says
say
3 of
that
us
I
is the one
like
that has
spiders,
the skeleton
but-
spider.
There it is. I have
Tim,
it in the
I
camera.
definitely
Hold
in
on,
the
send it through the
camera.
chat. Let's see how big this is because we
It's
want to
really
compare.
tiny.
Yeah,
it's gonna.
so I'm gonna laugh
Yeah,
at your
let's
expense.
compare spider sizes.
You're so cruel.
This is really zoomed in, by the way.
She laughed at me when I had to stay up all night because a spider
did.
hid behind something.
Well,
To be
that's
fair,
the
your
Fair
spider is
enough.
much
thing to do,
bigger.
Maddie.
Look, at least mine is laughable because,
Okay, mine was
Reasons?
giant. Okay, it was like that big.
share to, buttons, pod.
Remember when this was about cryptids?
and now it's about
It's
spiders.
going to podcast discussions.
There was
Well,
like,
I'm finished with the poltergeists. So
Alright.
It's that black spot. That's the spider.
I'm not.
I can kind of make it out, but it's really blurry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
fine.
really
It's
blurry.
a spooter. Leave it alone.
It's going to
looks like
eat
a-
my face.
What is that?
That's
Too tiny.
not a face.
I think it's a daddy
How do you
long
know?
leg.
It's
Daddy long-
definitely not a daddy long legs.
Daddy long legs
It
aren't
does
even
not have long
spiders.
enough legs for that.
why
Yeah.
such a promiscuous name for a spider?
Well,
I don't
it's technically
know.
actually daddy long legs are technically not spiders. They just
Yeah. They're just-
They have
they
6
actually only have
legs.
6 legs.
Interesting fact. Hey, Dragon, why don't you go to your cryptid so we can distract a dwarf here? And she's taking another picture.
Ah, well.
Frick, where'd it
so,
go?
That's all the time we
the
got for today. That's
research
too bad.
I did was on the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Oh
now,
boy.
So it's not your supernatural TV series 4 horsemen because I think they get it wrong.
Yeah.
They get one wrong.
They get one wrong and it pisses me off.
This isn't the Darksiders where they get 2 of them wrong.
I know.
But
Ooh.
I mean, one of the ones they get wrong is a female, so it's already gone to crap there.
Yeah.
No, this is the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse as they appear in the Bible.
Yeah.
The
Book of Revelation.
first, yes, the Book of Revelations. They appear in the Bible, chapter 6, verses 1 to 8. Good God. And the 4 horsemen recorded here are conquest, war, famine, and death. And conquest is the one that everybody gets wrong.
Oh my god, I'm so glad you got that right. That bothers me
Yeah.
so much.
Some call them pestilence. Sometimes he is.
Okay, for those of you that can't see this, Dragon's brother just held up a note card that says crap on it.
He's out of.
Yep.
Is he? Is this audio?
No, he just
Yeah,
didn't
no,
want to
no,
interrupt.
no, no. My audio's fine. I just was bored yesterday in class and have all of these wee post-it notes with swear words on them.
Aw, that's actually very sweet.
Of course he does. Of course he does. So yes. Conquest is the one that gets confused with Pestilence and then sometimes just Christ or the Antichrist themselves. And it's interesting to me that these guys appeared in the Bible because I've never read the Book of Revelations in its entirety. And I'm like, wait, these guys are there. But there are some other things that people hold almost dear to the Christian faith that don't actually appear in the Bible. But anyway, so
The horse.
the white horse is conquest. So the white horse is usually conquest. There's 4 horses. There's the white horse, the red horse, which is then war. Fair enough. Black horse, which I believe was famine.
Yeah, it's famine.
Yeah, the
Famine
black
and
horse
death.
is famine, and then the pale horse is death.
can't-
Wait,
Can
so
I-
what's the difference between white and pale? Is it
Uh,
like a cream
pale,
color
more like
or
ashen, or
Plus,
Pale is
Um,
kind of a grayish.
plus I think.
yeah, some call it a greenish yellow.
Yeah, and I think Death's horse is actually like a skeleton.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
in some
Yeah.
Also,
interpretation.
by the way, can we just talk about like how Conquest is a white horse? Like when they wrote this, did they just see a white horse and they're like, Conquest?
Well, I mean,
No. So the verse for conquest is, "Then I saw the Lamb broke one of the 7 seals, and I heard one of the 4 living creatures saying, as with the voice of thunder, Come. I looked, and behold, a white horse, and he who sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went out conquering and to conquer."
yeah, the thing about Conquest is that there's sort of like a method to the madness when it comes to the apocalypse. How there's a reason there's like there it goes conquest, war, famine, then death. There's like a whole little sequence
Meanwhile,
there. Yeah,
meanwhile, Dwarf is having her own problems with a conquest going on.
the conquest of a room from a spider.
The
tiniest-
conquest of a damn spider.
It's just a spider. Leave it alone.
Look, spiders are terrifying.
No, they're not. How big is it? Is it a jumping spider?
There is something there.
No, there's not. Like I just looked at the pictures. There's actually nothing there.
There's
No,
like
there. Trust me, there's a black
small
moving
little
dot.
spot that's grayed
It's
out.
probably just like a Sharpie mark that your friend left
It's
on you.
definitely not because it's moved from here to there.
Then it's a haunted Sharpie mark.
Anyway,
I'm the only one with
Um,
sharpies in
Poltergeist
this place.
Sharpie mark.
No, if you look at the blurry picture, you can actually see legs on it. So
The
Mhm.
legs. The
Um,
thing grew legs and walked around.
don't want to think about that. So yeah, as Sid says, there is a method to the madness. Interesting thing about death. Never actually had a weapon, even though he's drawn with a scythe, because most people just associate him with the Grim Reaper, who was completely different actually.
no, that's Death's
So-
underling. Death just touches you when you die.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sorry, I have to do this. Poke.
Yeah, yeah, that's Death. Poke.
Says, and the 4 horsemen have gone on to inspire many different interpretations.
Well, here's my thing. Can I say, Dragon? I know that this pisses you and Sid off, but do you think they got it wrong on purpose because they don't want diehard Christians to go after them?
Nah.
Nah, they had to make it
Quite
more
possible.
entertaining.
It's kind of like
Possibly. No, possibly.
it's kind of like how 666 is not actually the number of like the devil, but people think it is.
No, but
Yeah, that is
still,
also
I
very
think
true.
that it's also like in the Supernatural series, I think they purposely did that because one, it's based in America. So if you have the diehard Christian church that everyone fucking hates, protesting
be a riot on the street.
outside.
No,
Yeah.
Loaded
no, I
comment.
get you.
If they
I
have,
get you.
Look, no,
Um,
hold on. Christians are going to be a lot more upset over like angels being given wrong numbers. They don't give a shit about the horsemen. They really don't, because that's like the end time shit. It's like if you get the devil wrong, Christians are not going to be like, "Oh, you got the devil wrong." It's like, nah, it's like they don't like to talk about it. So I think
They don't
I like to
talk
avoid
about
the
the
subject.
devil unless you say so. Lucifer, right? You mean the devil?
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I doubt they got it wrong at first. I think they just got it they got mismatched interpretations.
Or they
Mm.
could have read
Like
another.
everything in
Like this
history?
has happened. This has happened. So there are different translations with the Bible. I've actually, I have my own. I've actually had two, books of Revelations from two different from two different sets of Bibles, and I looked, where the horsemen were. One of them said pestilence. The other one said conquest.
But
It does say that the
does depend
forerunners
on
are
the
often seen symbolizing
which,
conquest or pestilence. So
which
either
entity,
one
though.
is correct, but most of the time it is conquest.
Well,
Yeah.
most of the time
But
it's
then
conquest,
again-
so technically they're both correct because
Then
conquest
again-
can still be seen as pestilence.
Yeah.
but
Then
more
again, and
conquest,
the
but
Darksiders series, conquest is actually Volkmir, and then famine is called fury. So
Like, okay, let's think about this. When a conquest happens in a kingdom, okay, so like another kingdom takes over this weaker kingdom. Usually they just are like, all right, I got more land. Fuck the people that live there. And there's disease that comes after. So basically, conquest and disease go hand in hand.
I guess.
And then
Or
the famine
the
sets in.
conquestors themselves could be seen as the disease that wipe out the original.
Yep,
I guess.
that
yeah.
too. So there's two
Again.
different views. So technically, pestilence is not wrong. It's just it's kind of a side thing with
That
It's
goes
a side
back to
job.
the that more goes back to how the Bible can be interpreted many different ways by many different people all reading the same text.
Yeah.
With a lot of literature, actually, not just the Bible, but yes.
Plus, you got to think about this. The Bible has been translated from many different languages over the time. Who knows how many changes were made by people that are greedy?
Right.
Actually, I have a good point to back that up. When the English initially took over the Judaism Bible, the Quran, they got rid of 613 books to make way for the New Testament. So there's actually a lot of the Bible that we do not in the more modern Western society actually know.
Yes, and
Well, who
also
has
they
that
no, there was actually I think they found one of the original writings from the Bible, like the very first, and they were starting to translate it, and there's a lot more differences than you would think, even to the Quran and stuff. So
Don't
Yeah.
go there because we're gonna die if we go there.
all I'm saying is every culture has changed the Bible to fit their culture.
Also, there was a pope like some 1400 years ago that came up with the idea of the seven deadly sins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but let's
And
be
I
honest,
think like the seven holy
deadly
virtues
sins.
that are like the cures for those. So
Yeah, let's be honest, the seven deadly sins are fun to make characters around.
They're fun to do.
So
yes, and Dead Rising 3 would agree with you.
Yeah, the
Oof.
psychos. 7 deadly psychos.
Psychopath.
I was thinking the Supernatural series, the thing that's an anime called The Seven Deadly Sins, which is amazing.
Yeah, but
There's also the fact
Yeah.
there are like
We
7
don't talk
heavenly
about that.
virtues. There are 7 heavenly virtues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are.
and they're the
that's-
cures for the seven deadly sins.
And
it's
nobody knows
I
interesting.
it.
don't. Let's be real.
Actually-
Nobody knows what they are.
I don't know them by
Hold up, hold
I
up.
researched it last night while I was
I
researching
don't
this.
know them by heart. I only know the 7
Yeah, neither do I. I don't even know the
I
seven
I got
deadly
the
sins by heart, to be
chastity,
honest.
temperance, charity, diligence, patience, kindness, and humility.
you go.
Snoresville.
Honestly, though, you're not wrong there.
That's very boring. That's like,
Like
going to church every
humility,
day.
the being a modest, reverential and polite, kindness, tenderness and concern of others, temperance, control over excess, chastity, moderation of desire and pleasures, patience, endurance under difficult circumstances, charity, unlimited loving towards all others, and diligence, full concentration in work.
Yeah.
So they are literally the opposite, and actually, so chastity is the opposite of lust, gluttony and temperance, greed and charity, sloth, diligence, wrath, forgiveness, envy, kindness, pride, humility. So
My notes here say that wrath is cured by patience, but that's kind of the same as forgiveness. Well, it's not the same as forgiveness, but that's in place
Sounds
of
boring. I'm very angry. Yes.
well, it's just like but
be patient.
so
Have-
it's
Have a
it's
meditate.
boring on itself, but if you made you could make interesting characters around these, and the dynamic between these characters would be very interesting to see.
I guess, yeah. That's
Yes.
Like,
Wrath pops out of nowhere, causes everyone to get really pissed off.
and then patience.
And then patience pops up and it's like, just keep waiting.
Just keep waiting. It'll end eventually.
Sorry, technical
Hold
difficulty
hands
happened.
and sing Kumbaya.
Yeah. What I was
Yeah.
about to say was, I'm going back to the Seven Deadly Sins anime, but someone created a story. They're like, what if the 7 heavenly virtues were in it? And that dynamic was hilarious to see. It was interesting. Okay. Anyways, so anyone have anything else they want to add? Like
not
any
really.
other cryptids?
Might want to start like wrapping this up. Actually,
Yeah.
True, I'm at 22% here.
Yeah, we've been going for like
A bit.
almost an hour.
yeah,
I don't know.
that's good enough.
All right.
Alright, cool.
All right, so
How
that
do we
was-
end?
That was that. That was that episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and a comment if you did, and let us know what we could do better.
I'm sure there's plenty.
I'm just gonna say this right now. Halloween is
So
next,
much.
guys. We're like a month early. Come on.
Yeah, that is true. We are early.
We are.
Hey, Halloween is the best holiday, and I
Oh,
can't
don't-
wait for it.
Premature
I've never been to
population.
It's September. It's Halloween.
Don't
I
date
want-
it. Don't
okay.
timestamp it.
No, look, I want this year to be over faster to make way for the video game I've been waiting for.
Oh shush, you greedy.
Yeah, we know. We know.
person.
Oh,
Anyways.
shut up!
I'm
I've
doing
been
fine, I
waiting.
got Spider-Man.
Anyways, thanks guys for watching.
Yeah,
We'll see you
Spider-Man's
guys
pretty
next
good.
time.
Yeah, do the bell
Bye.
thing.